Okay, all right. Glasses feel like they're on crooked this morning. All right, let's give it a. Um, I did not go out and do an additional share. Let's see. Hi there and welcome. This is Manifesting Friday Live, and just gonna take a couple minutes and just kind of figure out what's going on here. I made a number of notes today, and I'm going to kind of count on those notes as I talk about my subject as I go forward. Okay. Let's see. Now, I just need my glasses when I'm reading and going forward. Uh, and I want to make sure that I don't miss anything today. So welcome to Friday Live. My name is Beverly Fells Jones, and I am the Silver Fox of Consciousness. And I am an author, speaker, seminar leader, trainer, Mimi, mom, friend, confidant. I have lots of titles, just like you have lots of titles. And those titles come after the words I am. Because when you say I am and you say whatever it is after that title, then you are that. You have declared that. You have declared that to yourself, to the world, to your subconscious, to whomever. So I would recommend that you be careful when you are going forward, when you're talking about who you are, what you do, what you believe, because every time you do that, you are praying. You are putting out to the universal mind, infinite intelligence, God, however you want to name it, that this is who you are, or this is who I want to be. For the title or the name, hello, Straight Fruit. Yeah, I know Friday comes around pretty quick. I mean, we're all busy and we do things, and all of a sudden, whoa, it's Friday morning, or I'll go, Friday is coming up in 2 days. What are you going to talk about? What are you going to share? What did you tell them you were going to talk about the last time? And and so I've said this before, I trust in infinite intelligence to tell me or give me an idea of what it is I need to talk about, right? What is it that I'm going to share with you this week, or, what is going to come? And well, I was going through some training this week, and that's how today's topic came up. And then it was, well, what are you going to put on the thumbnail? But what is the name of the topic, right? And, because it came up how to pray right for the thumbnail, because we're all told to pray. We're all told to, well, take it to the Lord in prayer, or, meditate on it. And you go, okay, but today I'm going to talk about the ways, thank you for the thumbs up. I want to talk about the ways that we pray that brings us what we don't want. And that's not where we are. We want to ask for what we want. So I was thinking about this, and it was like, okay, and we all do this. So who are these people who are going to look at you and say, who are you to tell me how to pray? Who are you to talk to me about this? You know, we all have that feeling inside, right? But we each have some very profound knowledge that sometimes we know how to share and sometimes we don't know how to voice that. So let me tell you a story. Years ago, when I was first learning about manifesting and The Secret came out, and I started reading things, and that's what prompted, all this learning prompted me to write Christianity and the Law of Attraction book. And what I learned is that what I was being taught by some pastors of how to do things was not what the scriptures were telling me or what I was discerning from the scriptures. I need to clarify that, what I was discerning from the scriptures. And so I was sitting in the church that I was going to on a regular basis, and it came to prayer time. And I started listening to them pray, and I was done. I said, all that learning, the pastor, all those seminaries and colleges and all of that, but you don't get it. And you go, what don't we get? You don't pray for the problem. You don't talk about the problem. They were talking about guide the surgeon's hands and, do this and do that. And when you're learning about manifesting, you don't put your finger on how it's going to be done. That's not your issue. You know that you will be led to do the right thing. And maybe it is led to have some surgery, but maybe it's led to go do something else, or maybe or, and no matter what it is, it's relationships, money, your health, your beauty, going out in the garden and things aren't working right. So, you know, you ask for what you want. And that's what I saw in many of these places. And now that I've said it, you might start paying attention that most people pray on the problem. So what I'm telling you to do is pray on the solution. Pray for what the solution that you want to come out. And I said it was going to be 4 steps for manifesting for someone else. And that's what I want to talk about, because people will ask you to pray for them. They will ask you to hold this space for me. And you'll go, okay. But you may be praying on their problem, because the first words that come out of most people's mouth is, what's going on? What do you need prayer for? How can I pray for you? What do you want? What's the issue? And that's not the question. That's not the question to be asking, guys. I want you to change your question if somebody asks you to hold the space for them or pray for them or whatever they ask for from you. Send them healing energy, send them whatever. You ask, what is the outcome that you want to see? Let me say that again. What is the outcome that you want to see? So, step one really is asking the right question, but you want to recognize that this person that you are praying for or manifesting for is part of infinite wisdom. We all have infinite wisdom in us, and infinite intelligence, God. It's all inside of us. We are a manifestation of God in its many forms. And so you recognize that you have God inside of you, and you recognize that that person does too. So that is the very first step. Recognition and understanding that you are one, you are unified. Then, as you ask them the question about what's the outcome they want, you start visualizing So this is number two. You start visualizing that outcome. You don't visualize the problem. That's not what you're looking for. You're visualizing the outcome. So that's number two. Number three, and you've heard these before. Number three is say thank you. Give thanksgiving for the fact that you know it is done. Remember, as you visualize it's being created in the invisible, all it has to happen is that it materializes in the physical. So that's number three. So we recognize, we visualize, we give thanksgiving, and we release it. We don't hold on to it. We don't go, okay, what do I need to do next? If there's something you need to do next, you will be given that answer. You will have inspired action to do whatever. So, one, recognize that you and the I am and the person or persons that you are manifesting for are all part of the collective, I want to say. Every one of you is a drop in the ocean of this wonderful, magnificent, infinite intelligence, God. Number two, you want to visualize the outcome of what you want. Number three, you're going to give thanks for it. And number four, you're going to release it. Those are the basic four. And so I was going through my Neville Goddard stuff and what's her name? Florence Scovel Shin, and a few others, because I wanted some examples from other people. I have examples of things that have happened for me, and I've shared them in the past. But I found this one from Neville Goddard, and I want to read it to you because it will give you, I forgot to take my phone off. It will give you a really good example. Okay, let's get rid of the phone sound. Okay. It'll give you a really good example of what I'm talking about. He says, today brought me a letter asking for help. I do not need to be next door to help another. There is no separation or time without consent. You make this work for another no matter where they are. So what he's telling you is, I'm here, I can help you where you are, or I can help somebody in China, or I can help somebody in England. Doesn't matter. This letter was from New York, telling me about a fine doctor there. He got these growths on his face and feared they might be malignant. And then it was found that he had Parkinson's disease. This friend wrote me to tell me about it, and he said, can you do anything when you are so far away? I am not 3,000 miles away, for everything is within me. I brought this doctor in imagination, your own wonderful imagination, before me, right? I put my hand on his face, okay? I put it on a face that had no bumps, okay? Guy had bumps on his face. He had growths on his face. But Neville took it and visualized, imagined. Now, for me, when I do this, my eyes are closed, that I bring the person to me. And he had his hands on his face, but he saw no bumps. He saw no bumps, no growths on his face. He only felt smooth skin. So he was manifesting from the result. Remember last time it was from and not of, right? So we're manifesting from what we want, being in that space of what we want, and not of the result. That was last week's. All right. And then he and I walked together and he did not stumble. So he was visualizing no Parkinson's, right? He was visualizing. He walked like a well man would walk. So he saw this man whole. He saw him without anything on his face. He saw them that way. He says, that is what I did. Now, understand when you're in this, you're also in a deep meditative state. You do not have any other things distracting you. You are paying attention to this and this alone. So that's why when I'm in this state and I'm working with someone, my eyes are closed. My eyes are either here at 20 degrees, which is known as the third eye, or I've got my eyes all the way up, which is known as the crown chakra, right? But when you move your eyes, you move where you are as far as brain waves are concerned, alpha and theta. And I've talked about those in the past. Today is not the day. But you're talking directly to your subconscious mind. And to me, it's the anteroom of God. So, meditative state and visualize, he's visualizing this man healthy and well and doing things, not just healthy and well, but he's walking with him, right? So now comes this letter telling me that something has happened within him. These bumps are gone and he is no longer shaking, and he now can go to his office again. Yet, as a doctor, he knows his condition is incurable. It is not unless he thinks so. Okay. He says, this Parkinson's is incurable. Like diabetes is not curable, but it is, right? He said, it is not unless he thinks so. If I had seemingly failed with him, it would not matter. So here's the other half of the thing. For I would still be exercising my wonderful talent. If that next letter had said that he had died, it still would not mean I failed. For there are worlds within worlds, and God cannot fail. All we are called on to do is to imagine and then let it be true. I cannot concern myself with what the doctors say. We are of God. For God became his image and made it alive, and it became a living soul. And then he transformed it into a life giving spirit. But if you do not become a life giving spirit, you do not know you are the cause of the livingness of your world, and then you cannot change it. So, in that, he's saying, even if the man did not become healthy, it's okay, because when we do this, we're talking to that other person's higher self. And if that person is not of accepting the information and their job here is done, or they're supposed to experience this one thing, then it will be so. Jose Silva of the Silva Mind Control, Silva Ultra Mind, also talks about this. And there was a group of them. There was a group of 5 of them. And every week they sat down and they visualized and prayed for certain people. The people did not know they were being prayed on. That doesn't sound right. Prayed for, all right, or manifested for. All they know that they were in close, they knew the people, they knew their issues, they knew all those things, and they would sit and they'd have the names and they would pray over them or for them, and they would pray the solution, always the solution. And for them, initially, it was an experiment. They wanted to know if they could really have some kind of effect. Or, there have been prayer experiments with people in hospitals, and they found that prayer works even if the person didn't know they were being prayed for. So in their experiment, they had chosen 5 people, and each of those 5 people had an issue. And each week, they would pray for them. They would visualize them. They'd get an update on that person's situation, and then they pray from the next step. In other words, the solution may move, right? Or it may change. And they did that. And everyone that they they prayed for, they manifested for, and they visualized the outcome happened. When I first read that, I was skeptical, as many people are skeptical. But I also know, based on my own experience, that when I have visualized for certain people in the circle that we work together, that particular thing, that outcome they were looking for has happened. Now, I also know that they had to have inspired action at certain times, and then they'd let me know it happened. So, how many times has it happened to you when you have looked and prayed for someone else? Or maybe you've been praying the old way. You've prayed the get rid of this, or don't let this happen, instead of looking at what they wanted to happen in their life. What did they want instead? And the same thing happens for you. You can use these same 4 steps for you in order to make your life better. But it's always great. There was in the Silva, there was a woman who had multiple sclerosis, and she had gone through the training, and she knew that she could manifest or visualize for others, and people would give her the name of people, and she would continue multiple times a day, go into meditation, go into the state, and she would visualize for others. Over time, she started getting better. I don't know if she changed her diet. I don't know anything else other than the fact that eventually she was out of her wheelchair. She was walking. And then when she was tested, there was no signs of MS. But it was gradual, just a little bit at a time, as she was praying for others. And that's the other thing that I've learned, that as you open your heart out, open your heart to other people, praying for other people, visualizing the good in that person, that it also affects you as it affects the others. We've heard many times of mothers praying for their sons and daughters to help pull them out of whatever situation they're in. And even if they were praying the issue versus praying the solution, their prayer was heard over time. So I ask you, take a look. Is there somebody that you can manifest for? It's like, oh, I'm looking for this job. I'm going for this job interview. Pray for me. We've heard that before. Or I'm getting ready to go see the doctor. Pray for me. And go see the doctor. You see them healthy and whole and in the perfect blueprint of life. On the job, you ask, what kind of job is it? What is it that you want? Not that particular job. What job do you want? What do you want to do with your life? And visualize them in that position. It may not, that job, the interview they went for may not be it. I had another friend who went on the interview and didn't get that job. And it was given to somebody else in her organization. But we kept visualizing her in a position that was good for her, that she would love to have. And within a couple weeks, well, no, not a couple weeks, it was a couple months, that person who got that job didn't work out. They didn't like it. They wanted to step back, and she got the job and she loved it. So never be discouraged if it doesn't happen immediately. All right. Well, good. Let's see. Straight fruit. It's so interesting that I seem to practice manifesting so much better when I was younger. No fear. Yes, we do have that thing that we're afraid. We go, well, what if it doesn't work? What if it doesn't happen? We do that, and we've just got to let it go. We've got to release it and just trust that if it doesn't come out exactly as the way you envisioned it, it's okay because it's coming in the way that's best for you. I always say, whatever is the best for everyone concerned, what the best outcome for everyone concerned. But yes, we've got to trust and be, you know, what do I want to say? Happy. Okay. There it is. Okay. Here we are. There is then this spirit of infinite life and power behind all, which is the source of all. Read that sentence again. There is then this spirit of infinite life and power behind all, which is the source of all. This infinite power is creating, working, ruling through the agency of great immutable laws and forces that run through all of the universe, that surround us on all sides, on every side. In a sense, there is nothing in all the great universe but law. If this is true, there must of necessity be a force behind it all that is the maker of these laws, and a force greater than the laws of God. It is through the laws created by the spirit of infinite life and power that I am able to receive my abundance and prosperity. Now that was taken from Ralph Waldo Trine, and it is from a book, In Tune with the Infinite, or the Fullness of Peace, Power, and Plenty. Now, this was written, early in the 1900s, 1920s. All right, so basically said, this spirit of infinite life and power that is behind all is what I call God. You are so very welcome, and I'm glad that you've been with me today. I appreciate you. So those who listen to this later or whenever, if you are new to this channel, please um, come through and what I want to say, there it is. Where is that guy? Give it a thumbs up, right? And subscribe. And I will see you next Friday, same time, same place. This is Beverly Fells Jones, the Silver Fox of Consciousness. As you have believed, let it be done to you, and it is so.